Hi, I'm Matt, and this is Snowbird. It's a wooden trawler from 1979 that I live on part-time. Yeah, this is a dinette, but it also turns into a bed because I had a few friends here last week. And the kitchen with a bunch of propane accessories. The water system, yeah, it's a pressurized system with a tank. There's a propane on-demand hot water outside. Yeah, it holds a lot of water and a lot of gas, this boat. You could put 3,000 liters of diesel in it at once too. Yeah, it's pretty good. The reason I live on this boat is I bought an oyster lease and it's a little far from my house, so I spend a week or so at the oyster farm and then sell my oysters and then usually go home on shipping day. Whenever I sell my oysters, I head back to Powell River and visit with my kids while I'm back there. Basically just a cabin for when I'm at work kind of thing. We used to camp on Marina Island when I come up to work. Yeah, and it was pretty limited to good weather. So this gives me more of an opportunity to work when it's raining out and stuff like that. Yeah, it's nice and quiet out here in the gorge, and yeah, it's saves money definitely. Like, you know, if living off the grid, yeah, it's a little saves a bit of money for sure on renting a place. Yeah, there's the bathroom and my bedroom here, and yeah, a heater that runs off of the generator when I don't have the diesel stove going. That's the diesel heater that keeps the frost off the boat in the winter. Yeah, and the water tank is under the back here. Yeah, and all the plumbing's under the bathroom floor there. Yeah, there's an electric toilet that flushes with a button. And then there's the shower that's propane hot water on demand also. And yeah, it's all pressurized system that has runs off 12 volt, the water pumps, yeah. Challenges, yeah, mainly the weather. Driving through choppy weather is a challenge. Yeah, when it's windy out there, sometimes you want to go home and it's too choppy. And it just throws everything off the counter and stuff like that if you go through some big chop. But yeah, we made it every time. I've been out there in about 6-foot waves with this boat, or 6 or 8 feet, where it's hard to turn or you get side troughed. And then, yeah, that's driving in choppy weather is probably the most difficult thing, but I try to avoid that. Yeah.
What was it like kind of when you bought it? Have you done anything to it?
No, not really. Just painted the bottom and cleaned it, yeah, and caulked it, yeah. So because it was leaking before, and then the bilge pump had to work all the time. But now that I caulked it, it's perfectly sealed underneath. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I paid a guy to shove some cotton and hemp into the main board in the bottom. Yeah, it's like corking for wood boats, yeah. Yeah, so it was out of the water for 10 days and fixed the leaks, and now it saves a lot of battery power running those pumps. But it is an old wood boat, and we'll need it again someday, probably. Well, I had 10 years experience in Powell River, and then I bought the oyster lease for to have my own farm and do my own sales, and it's been really profitable since then. Keeps increasing every year. The money that I make from oysters and clams, yeah. At first it was about 30,000 and now it's like 70,000 gross last year. I pay for everything though, so that's gross, yeah. The net income is not quite as much, so because I pay for all the mechanical and all the supplies, it's not too much. The supplies is only like the netting to bag it up, the product, and maybe some buckets to collect them in and stuff like that. We use buckets and we fill them up and grade them into different sizes and then put them into the net bags. Yeah. So basically the nets and the tags and the buckets, it's not too much supplies, and then gas to do it is mostly what I spend my money on. Yeah. There's a lot of 12 volt switches up here for the fridge, the charging plug for the dash, and fan and everything. Lights for outside, all 12 volt. And the fridge is on, yeah. The fridge runs on 12 volt.
And what is your battery capacity and how do you charge them?
I think it's like four 200 amp hour batteries. So they charge off the generator and trickle charge off the solar constantly. So yeah.
What's your solar setup? Do you
Just
know
200 watt panels on the roof, yeah. Just to keep them primed so they don't go dead, the batteries, yeah. Even if it's a little bit of solar a day, it helps keep them in good shape, the batteries, for sure. And if you want to see the engine room, it's down here.
And how much did this boat cost you?
20,000. I had an inheritance. That's how I bought the farm too. I bought this boat and the farm, and now I needed income in Powell River because, yeah, shellfish farming. I was getting paid like $20 an hour back then. When I got my inheritance, and now I make closer to 100 an hour when I'm at the farm. I was looking at properties, but the properties were a little out of my league. I didn't have any credit, and I had about 160. I had just enough to buy the farm, which cost me 160,000 for the lease. Yeah, but it's a permanent thing, leased from the government, and yeah, it's good income. This is the bow. Theoretically, somebody could sleep in here, but nobody really likes to sleep in the bow. But here's the batteries that I charge with the generator also. Brand new this last year, so they'll last a while, hopefully. 4 or 6 volts. They're like 220 amp hours, or no, 230 amp hours each. So it's quite a bit of power. It does last for about a week running anything without charging them if I wanted to.
If somebody else wanted to live on a boat like this, what kind of advice would you give them?
Have your solar and 12 volt batteries in good shape, and the diesel heater usually is good, or even wood stoves. People use little wood stoves, but yeah, you need heat if you're planning on living on it year round. Because I go in the winter a lot of the time, and you need to have a heat source or a generator to produce heat. Yeah, I don't know. Other than that, yeah, it's just the maintenance. If you keep up with the maintenance, your boat. Fiberglass is probably a better route than wood because it's less maintenance, but yeah, it's a Volvo 6-cylinder diesel. Yeah. I've done some repairs to the motor for sure. Just little stuff like belts and oil filters all the time. Stuff like that. Gas filters. Yeah, I drive it back and forth to Powell River once a week. It's a 3-hour trip. Yeah, so I put about 6 hours a week on it sometimes. Most weeks. Yeah, and these big tanks hold a lot of diesel. This is the solar charger or inverter.
It's a charge controller.
Charge controller, yeah. We're getting 3.4 amps of solar right now, which is like 36 volts or 36 watts or something. But yeah, you don't get too much, but it's enough to keep the batteries happy, for sure. For sure, my dad brought me out fishing when I was a kid, and his dad before him and stuff like that, you know. But so it's something that I learned when I was a kid, basically how to drive a boat and stuff like that. And I got my boat license about 10 years ago or 15 years ago when my mom bought me my first boat, yeah. And I've been fishing on the water ever since, on the ocean. Okay, yeah, we're gonna go up to the flybridge. Check it out, where you can steer. This year we're gonna do the topside painting. We did the bottom last year. Yeah, you could steer up here if you can't see very good, because sometimes the windows get fogged up inside. So I come up here if I can't see very good out the windows. Yeah, it's a good boat. I was happy with it when I bought it, for sure. Just needs a lot of care because it's an old wood boat, and mainly the paint needs to be redone now. My personal philosophy is live a stress-free life if you can, and working for myself on the oyster farm, I get a chance to like do what I want. And yeah, up here there's a little more freedom than in the city.
Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please share it with a friend. Also, if you want to watch more alternative dwellings, we got a playlist popping up right here, and we release new episodes every single Sunday, so consider subscribing.